we're going to go ahead and create a singleton to manage access to who can create connections to a database and where they can create them at. Let's right-click on our package com.pluralsight.singleton and say New Class. We're going to name this class DB Singleton and click Finish. And since we're going to build upon this example, we're going to start off by not making this lazily loaded or thread safe. So we'll create an instance of our class by saying private static DB Singleton instance equals new DB Singleton. And this will create an instance that our application can hold on to, and we'll manage it so that it only returns one instance of our application. To do so, we're going to create a private constructor so that people can't create new instances of this class on their own. And we'll just say private DB Singleton. And this will manage how that gets created so that people can't new up those new instances. Lastly, to flesh out our singleton and control how people will grab that instance back, we're going to do the customary method with a singleton of saying public static DB Singleton, so it's going to return an instance of DB Singleton with a get instance method. Now this is just a standard naming convention. It doesn't have to be called this, but it's customary with a singleton to have a get instance method. And this will return that instance that we created up above. So there's everything we need to create our singleton. We have our static private instance that we'll hold on to. We have a private constructor so that people can't use the keyword new to create their own instance of it. And then we'll return that instance to the calling class when they call the getInstance method. And again, it's not required that it be called getInstance. It's just a standard convention when implementing a singleton. To test this, let's go ahead and create a class called dbSingletonDemo that will execute this code. So we'll just type in dbSingletonDemo here. And I'm going to check the public static void main create and click Finish. And inside of here, I'm going to replace this to do with a dbSingleton instance. And remember, that was a static method, so we'll call dbSingleton.getInstance to return an instance of our singleton for us. And to verify that this is running, I'm just going to do a system.out println and return the object address that is created from that instance. And I can run this by right-clicking on our main method and say run as Java application. When this runs, you'll see that it prints out the object address in our console. We have, for this time that I ran it, a 56E88E24. Each time I run it, it'll return a different instance for me. But there's a couple of things to note here. Okay, we have a singleton. How do we verify that? Well, if we were trying to create a new instance of this, since we did a private constructor, it won't allow us. So if I type in here dbSingleton, and we'll say test constructor equals new dbSingleton, it's not going to allow me to do this. See, in fact, it tries to suggest that I put the demo in here. If I take and close that off to the constructor, it tells me it won't allow me to do that. So it won't work that way, but let's test that we're only getting one instance of that object back. I can do that by recreating that line of the singleton again, saying singleton another instance equal to dbSingleton.getInstance. Now when I run this and I print out that object address again, it should print the same object address for me. So I'm going to copy and paste that down there and replace that with another instance. Save that and right-click and run as again, Java application. And you'll see that the object addresses are the same down there. So it's not newing up another instance, it's returning that same object regardless of how many times I ask for it through that .getInstance method. So we've now created our first singleton.